Please give a warm welcome for Charles Castillo.
Brace yourselves. I saw Lou Fasolino's notes when he does the remarks about Joe Karuba. It's about 20 pages long. He says, it's only going to be 5 minutes. I go, then you got really big handwriting. Anyway, on behalf of the Italian American Leadership Council and my family, I would like to thank you for your attendance here this evening. 20 years ago, my father, Anthony Castiglia, had an idea to hold an event celebrating the Italian tradition of St. Joseph's Day. At the time, there was no other St. Joseph's table around. And he wanted to honor individuals who exemplified the best in the Italian American community. And he started planning this event in September, and unfortunately he passed away in January. So he never saw the first dinner. But thankfully for my family, 2 people picked up the banner, and one of them's here tonight, Joe DiVincenzo and Jim Sorrentino. And for 20 years, the Italian American Leadership Council has been honoring men and women who break down the stereotypes that are negatively portrayed about the Italian American community and shows that Italian Americans are contributors to society. Tonight is a special night for all of us. We remember my father on the 20th anniversary of his passing, and we honor our 20th Anthony M. Castiglia Achievement Award winner, Joe Karuba. I would like to thank the members of the council for their support and their help for this evening's event, particularly Frank Spina and Miss Ellie Derry, who donated the wonderful cheese that we had out during the cocktail hour. Our Master of Ceremonies, John DeShulo from WBBZ, another plug for him. Lou Fasolino and Joe Chifa for all their work the last few months to help make this a wonderful event. My office manager, Sherry Abramitis, you all met her when she was sitting at the door while you came in, for all the organization that he did for this event. I also want to thank Mindy Leonetti, who inspired our committee to select Joe Karuba. My mother, Loretta, my wife, Rachel, my brother, Patrick, for their counsel over the last few months. I'd also like to thank the rest of my family, my niece, Chelsea, my daughter, Aurora, Kyle McDonald also helped work the door, and all of my family who are here today. Without all these people, tonight's event would not be such a tremendous success, although I think it had more to do with our honoree than anything else. So please enjoy yourself this evening, and Viva San Giuseppe.
Wishes. A lot of politicians here in the room, a lot of important people, and even at our table, a lot of spirited political discussion, as I'm sure it was at many of the tables in the room. But for Joe Karuba, Buffalo City Court Judge Joseph Fiorella is in Florida, and he wishes you the best, so he sends his congratulations. There are a lot of other folks who are here in the room. Yeah, congratulations. Round of applause for Joseph Fiorella. There's some other folks who are here, and if you're still in the room, we want you to stand up. New York State Supreme Court Judge William Bowler. And William Bowler here. Congratulations. Thank you. New York State Supreme Court Judge Donna Sywick. Erie County Court Judge Sheila A. DiTullio. Erie County Court Judge Kenneth Case and his wife Karen. State Supreme Court Judge candidate John Gorman. From the town of Eden, Judge Michael Cooper. District Attorney Frank Sedita. Just a few years ago that we honored the Sedita family. And we have some proclamations I wanted to mention too. And I know the Sheriff of Niagara County is here, Sheriff O'Toole. You stand up if you're in the room. There he is.
No way. It was all uphill. Well, John had asked me when we were walking the parade route, he had said, parades are trivial, that they really don't mean a lot, and, don't politicians kind of waste their time when they march in parades, but it's not true. With the Irish, and the Italians, and the Sicilians, parades were a demonstration of inclusiveness, and people were displaced by troubles at home, be it in Italy or in Ireland, and they came to this great miracle called America. So on the dates of St. Joseph's Day, on the dates of St. Patrick's Day, when we march, we celebrate the inclusiveness that we were greeted with in this extraordinary country. So I wish all of you, especially 3 days after celebrating St. Patrick's Day, this is a great, great relief. Congratulations to all of you and happy St. Joseph's Day. My job is to present, and I know a lot of my colleagues in government were also recognized, and they're all good people, whether they're Democrats and Republicans, regardless of what office they hold or what office they aspire to. They're great, great people who believe strongly in the great American political tradition and in Western New York. I must say that people knew that I was presenting this to Joe today, and I haven't met Joe, but I must tell you that he is well known. And I heard many, many stories. They're stories of a man of few words, but great in good deeds, always. There's a story of, no, I'm not going to say that. But tonight, I really just want to tell your story. But before I do, Charlie Castiglia said to me, I said, you know, he said, you're the only politician that's speaking tonight. I said, well, that's a great honor. And the only Irishman. And Charlie said that there's only one difference in our flags, one color. So I feel greatly welcomed here tonight. But this is read, Joe, into the congressional record, and there'll be a record of this held in perpetuity in the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C. And regardless of what your politics are, anybody in this room, Washington is a great place, and America is still where miracles are made. And we all must believe that as we work through these difficult times. So I wanted to say that I congratulate Joe, the President and Chief Executive Officer of Karuba Collision, as he receives the prestigious Anthony M. Castiglia Achievement Award from the Italian-American Leadership Council of Western New York. As we come together in celebration of St. Joseph's Day, we also celebrate the remarkable contributions Joe has made to our region through his esteemed business and generous philanthropic efforts. Joe began his career in the automobile industry in the 1970s as a part-time employee at his father, Anthony Karuba's company, while still a student at Williamsville North High School. After completing his education at Oklahoma A&M and Syracuse University, Joe joined his father's company full-time. When his father passed away in 1990, Joe was given the full responsibility of managing and taking the business to a new level. At that time, Karuba Collision only had 12 employees. Under Joe's direction and leadership, Karuba expanded to 4 offices, a dealer satellite office, and 6 production facilities. The company now employs 130 people and has increased its profitability to 20 times that of the numbers in the early 1980s. Joe's experience in business has resulted in many board memberships over the years, including Board of Directors of the Better Buffalo Business Bureau, the YMCA Leadership Club, the Alliance of Automotive Service Providers, among so many others. Joe has generously supported a wide variety of organizations in Western New York, including Make-A-Wish Foundation, Roswell Park Cancer Institute, Women and Children's Hospital, the Parkinson's Foundation, State University of New York at Buffalo, Mercy Flight, the Food Bank of Western New York, and the Buffalo Niagara Victory Scholarship Awards. So tonight, on this night, an extraordinary night for Italian Americans throughout the nation, throughout the world, and right here in Western New York, we thank Joe Karuba for striving to be a civic-minded business owner, to be a leader who has exemplified the American values of hard work and goodwill. You are extremely deserving of the Anthony M. Castiglia Achievement Award, and I wish you and everybody here wishes you all Godspeed and continued success. Thank you very much for your contribution.
You know, I'm up for days thinking of things I want to say about Joe Karuba because we have been friends for 25 years. And I have been working for Joe probably going on 3 years. And I do have some interesting stories I will tell tonight. And one, for example, last week Joe picked me up, let's go to lunch. I get in this big, was it Highlander or something? What was that? He said, we're going to go to lunch, and he takes me down Route 20, we're going through the mountains. I don't even see anybody walking, I don't see any wood. We end up in some lodge, they have lunch. And he says, order what you want. He says, one question I have is, yeah, what the Joe? What are you going to say about me? And he had that deadly look in his eye. And I said, Joe, I haven't decided on anything yet, but it will be nice. Another story about Joe, I got to tell you. He's a dog lover. He wanted to buy a Rottweiler, so he gets on the paper, calls this place. They said they have 3. He just had them. Would you like to see them? Well, I got one. He says, no, could you bring all 3 over to the house? So she brings all the 3 dogs to the house. Joe looks at it. He says, I'll take all 3. I look and I said, Joe, why did 3? He says, you can't break up a family. They're all brothers. That's the type of guy he is. But I do have to give some thank yous. I want to thank Congressman Higgins for saying everything that I was going to say about Joe Karuba. You did a great job, Brian. I got to put these on so I can see. I want to thank Joe Salvatore and his staff. They did a great job, didn't they? Wasn't the food great? Jen Abadi, was she fabulous? Jen, if you make me your agent, I know how to negotiate deals, right?
Don't do it,
Jen.
Jen.
The Folletta family couldn't be here, but they extend their best wishes. We also want to thank Market Domination. They are doing the video of tonight's. In case you want to purchase them, call me. You'll get a good deal. And I will say this. He's a dedicated CEO and president of a company. He works 24 hours a day. He's got a lot of compassion for all his employees. He's got a lot of compassion for the customers. He appreciates all our partners that are in the room here tonight. We have great partners when you look around the room and you can see all the people we've touched over the years. And it's an honor to be a friend of Joe Karuba, and it's a bigger honor to work for him. Thank you.
You leave me present, Chef? I'm going to have my family come up with me as I do this brief speech, and then I want to have everybody get out of here in a timely fashion. I tried to convince Lou not to talk, but I couldn't do it. Buenos Aires, good evening. Today, we celebrate the Feast of St. Joseph, the husband of Mary, stepfather of Christ, and the patron saint of Sicily, who intervened on their behalf to end a severe drought during the Middle Ages. It is believed that the prayers to the people to St. Joseph induced the rains which prevented the famine, and the people held a feast in his honor. Sicilians, which I am one of, carried this on tradition for centuries. But there's another St. Joseph whose feast day is also this week. It's Joseph of Arimathea. How many of you know who he is? Few people? Well, I'll tell the rest of you who he is. He is the wealthy senator who begged Pontius Pilate to retrieve Christ's body from the place of his crucifixion and inter him in the tomb that Joseph had prepared for his own death. I have a fondness for Joseph because he's also the patron saint of funeral directors, of which I am one. He sold graves. Joseph of Arimathea was a well-educated man who was drawn to the sciences. He had wealth and lived austerely. He was known by all as a good man, not as a great senator. While he held a prominent position in life, people did not think of him that way. They just thought that he was a good man that treated everyone with kindness. My grandfather passed away when I was only 3, and my father shared with us many of his Italian proverbs, some that I cannot repeat right now. But this one reiterates how Joseph of Arimathea lived his life. Treat every man the same, be they king or be they beggar, for no man is above you, and no man is beneath you. Joseph of Arimathea resonates with me not because of who he was, but how he lived his life. He reminds me of the lessons that my father handed down to me from my grandfather. He reminds me of the honoree this evening, another Joseph who deserves recognition but does not seek it, Joseph Karuba. Everyone knows the Karuba collision of the game, right? For the Buffalo Bills and the Buffalo Sabres. But what you don't know is how much Joe does for others. He raises money and sits on many community organizations and charities, which many of the proclamations have alluded to earlier this evening. But the thing that amazes me is how much he invests in the people who work for him, how much he cares for them. In an industry where it's not uncommon to work 12-hour days, Joe instituted the theory of constraints to structure his operations so his employees have a better quality of life. He trains and mentors his over 150 employees so they can grow in his company and his people. There's a great quote from a chief financial officer of a company, and he asked the CEO, he says, "What if we spend all this money to train our employees and then they leave?" And I could see Joe saying this back to them. What if we don't and they stay? Investing in his people and giving them a chance for a better life has created customer loyalty, not only from the outside customer, but from his internal one, his employees. Joe is known as a great businessman, and it comes from his belief in people. By helping others both inside and outside of his company, Joe has become a great success, the type of man that people should emulate, not because of his business acumen, but because of the good man that he is. On behalf of the Italian American Leadership Council and my family, it is our honor and our privilege to present the Anthony M. Castiglia Achievement Award to Joseph Karuba. Joe, can you come up? Our family, come up.
I'd like to say thank you, Charles Castiglia and family. So honored and humbled to be up here, and thank you from the bottom of my heart. I have to mention my father, Anthony Karuba, who gave me a chance in business. I also want to thank my family. You are the greatest blessing in my life. I love you. I have to mention also my dearest friend, Bill Aquino, who passed away recently. Bill was my mentor and my dearest friend. He's sadly missed. To all the employees at Karuba Collision, thanks for making Karuba Collision what it is today. And Lou, you surprise me every day. You're a great friend. I love you, buddy. Rob Bensini and Greg Emiker, you're both a lot for me, and I can't thank you enough. To my friends and business associates, I thank you for your friendship and support. I'm really honored to have the dignitaries here and the elected officials. Thank you for coming. Let us all thank the people from the food bank. Because of you, people in need have food on their table every day. It's the true spirit of St. Joseph's Day. Thank you all for coming. Happy St. Joseph's Day.